My name is Jian Golder. It's my English name. And this book has been published in English and in Chinese. So now we are facing Chinese English readers, and the publisher is David Lovelace from Candlelight Print Company. And he printed both of the book for us. And this collection is organized by Northwest Chinese Writers Association. It's located in Seattle and covered Idaho, Oregon, Washington, and most of them are Chinese. And we are Chinese writers. But this time, because of the first book published, the reaction is really, really strong. And we strongly feel it is not enough just for Chinese people. There are so many great, great stories, and so all these thinking, feelings should share with as many as much as we can. So we published a second book. Name is Hidden Trouble. Hidden. Why say hidden? Because it's not opened and not to the public. So if you have some tragedy happening at your home, or if you are really, really depressed, and other people didn't know, unless you speak it out. And now seems like after 3 years, the pandemic is going slowing down, but the depression is going up if you don't get healed. So that's why we put it on the title, which is hidden. If you don't open it, you don't get treated, the healing is not coming, only get worse. So at the beginning, we don't know how many stories, what degrees we can make these books. But after 6 months, we got the article all over the world, not only Chinese, including English writers. And then we start editing, and you don't know how depressed we are as editors, because the story, hidden story, finally figured out and opened to us. And we cry so many times. We are depressed when we are working with these articles. And also, how did we be with this author came out from the darkness? So it is not only the book, the writer itself, it is our editors' experiences too. And the book there are 4 chapters. One is about China. Why put China in the first chapters? Because it starts from there, and it is the latest to finished. And a lot of people want to know what's really going on in China about this pandemic. And we have a lot of writers, they experience it. And then some American immigration, they went back to China, tried to take care of their relatives. And it is just, it's hard in words to explain what happened in China. And we did put one of the famous article writers paragraph in the back of this book. The title of that article is said, "The world is one river." How could the disease get out of China? Wuhan was sealed. What happened? The next one is in Italy. He tells us the reason. And the whole world is a river. They run each to each other. But when you are in China, you probably see a lot specifically and more detail. And we are in America, we didn't know. So there are more than 10 articles in first chapter about China. The second chapter is all over the world. We got the author from Japan, from Australia, from Spain, from Germany, and many countries, and in different views what's happening in their country. So that gives us another picture about what's happening in the whole world. And the third one, especially, we collect the story to show people how did they get out of this pandemic and to be open and to treat it healing and help each other. The worst thing, somebody is going to commit suicide. Somebody is just to feel living in this world is meaningless. Many of them think that way. And how did they get out of that? Of course, there's one thing is very important is about the faith. And some story tells us how important when you have mental problems, you do need a faith to help you. And the last chapter is about the one horse farm in Oregon, in the south of Oregon. I, as the chief editor, took a group of people. We went there and stayed for 3-4 days and stayed there to see an interview and to take pictures. And we all wrote our own stories, published in the local or the American Chinese newspaper. And what moved my heart is the owner of this farm, who has a problem with he was a boy. And now he's over 70 years old. And he knows how painful to be as a child when they grow up and they don't know what to do. And they don't know the world look at them in this kind of unfriendly way. And he was lucky by nice, lovely grandparents took him to the farm to deal with the animals, including his father, like lost hope to him. For example, when he become a good horse rider and like a leader to grow to the other, when he grew up that horse farm, he can organize very well. At that time, he got paid. His income is more than his father as a teacher in school. And then his father thought, you must sell the drugs. Otherwise, how could you get so much money? He reported to the police. Father reported to police, and the police start investigation and finally find out because he works for the horse farm. So he had, after he retired and he bought bought a small horse farm, started helping other people, especially the kids. And so far, there are hundreds of the kids being proved by his help. And we went there and we talked to the parents, talked to the kids itself. And the whole chapter has many, many stories. We try to make it shorter, otherwise it's too much. But since then, because our article published and Seattle Church, Field Church, they combine together, have a conference, have this farmer's owner whose name is David Berger and his wife to talk about that in the church. And now there are so many people, like lately is summer vacation, and especially Chinese people. They didn't hear this before. Before the people know this from the American families around them. Now the word is spread out, and they said you can't even get a chance during the vacation time in the summer. They all filled. You have to wait behind it in November or, and some other time. So it's good. So many people and family get help. So the whole thing is, in my mind, is the truth is there. Part of them you know, part of you don't. And what we do is we have to unite it together to rebuild a healing family, feeling environment, feeling society. And through this book, and you help others, others help you too. And that when we have this united environment building up, more and more people will speak up, and more people will help and help each other. That is the treasure we learned, and we get it from this pandemic, the disaster. So if we can show more people how should we do, how should we speak out, how should we help each other, there are so many ways in the book people get out of the darkness. And then we spread that out, not in Chinese society and American English speaker society as well. And we are doing the great thing for the history and for our new generation. Thank you.
Now repeat that in Chinese.
Not Chinese. When it's in Chinese, there was 4:30. A lot of people come and will say a lot more.
That's Chinese. That's them. Okay.
Yeah, this is just for English. My English is broken, but somehow you understand, right?
And you want me to go through my part?
Yeah, 让他讲一点。